Growing edible plants in pots is so simple. I have a selection on my deck, and being just a few metres from the kitchen, they're so convenient. But from time to time, they do need some work to keep them at their best. Growing a mix of herbs in the same pot is a great way to save space and can also make a lovely display. But it's not uncommon for some varieties to take over and dominate. In this case, which is a Mediterranean assortment of herbs, the oregano's taken over. Now, I cut all these back a few weeks ago, and you can see that the common sage, that's bounced back. The different thyme varieties, they're reshooting, but this oregano is still dominating. So I need to take some of that out to make room for the other plants to grow properly, but also so I can rejuvenate the pot so the whole lot thrives. I'm digging out most of the oregano to create some room, and also trimming the sage back to keep it in check. I'll also take out some of the tired topsoil and replenish with premium potting mix, some compost, a dressing of pelletised manure, and work it through. And to help get this pot of herbs back to its full potential as quickly as possible, I'm popping in a few extra seedlings, including purple and tricolour sage, winter savory, and common thyme. Then mulch, and a good watering in. This lemongrass has been in this pot for about 2 years. I cut it back hard a few times a year, also keep it well watered and well fed, and it does just fine. But by now, I reckon the potting mix is going to be exhausted. It's also getting a little bit tight for this pot, so I'm going to give it a refresh. The first thing to do is cut the foliage off to reduce stress on the plant. Then it's a matter of chipping away at the root ball to get it out of the pot. I'm reducing the clump by removing some of the divisions which can be replanted elsewhere. Then it's a root trim and tease, and back into the same pot with fresh potting mix. Some fertiliser, mulch, and a good watering in. This will bounce back in no time. I love my muckroot lime. It's such a great potted feature on the deck. But the idea of repotting something this size is a bit daunting. So instead, each year I give it a prune to keep it in check and remove some of the soil from the top of the pot to make room for fresh soil. I've removed about 100 millimetres of the old soil and roots, which is a kind of root pruning, which means the roots will quickly re-establish into the new mix that I'll put back on top. After adding a fresh potting mix and some fertiliser, I'm topping it off with a layer of mulch and giving it a good watering in with liquid kelp to help reduce shock and stimulate new root growth. Potted plants can be prone to the old set and forget mentality. If you walk past them every day, you might not notice those incremental changes. But it's worth inspecting their condition and giving them what they need. If you do that, they'll keep on giving back.